video is level 4 to improve hip mobility and strength of the hip. So for this first stretch we're going to do in mobilization, we're going to put the affected hip foot in a corner somewhere. And if you need to use a pillow for your knee, that is fine. So we're going to put the foot in the corner of the wall. You can see it there. It's like kind of cornered in there, right? So it doesn't move. And then we're going to put our knees in the pillow just like this and put our hands flat. Okay? So then we're going to bring the foot up just like a lunge position, but keep our hands on the floor if possible. If it's fingertips, that's fine, or as far as you can, that's fine. So we're going to then walk our hands over kind of like a rainbow, like an arch to the right-hand side or toward the hip that's in the back. So we're going to walk our hands around, and you might feel that mobilization or stretch in your hip. And then you're just going to come out again and walk your hands toward the hip. Come out again, walk your hands toward the hip. And so that's a good internal rotation mobilization that you can do for your hip. So after you do that, you can work on sit to stand. So we worked on doing sit to stand on both legs and coming up and down. But this time we can work on doing sit to stand on one leg coming up. It's really hard. So make sure you're raising the surface as high as you need to make it easier for you and your balance is upright, where your shoulders are on top of your hips and top of your feet. So you're going to see how many you can do sit to stand on one leg versus the other leg. So for me, maybe it's 1, 2, 3. So maybe I can only do 3 on the left side. And then maybe I can only do 1 on my affected side. So then I'm going to work to even up that distance or decrease the difference between sides. So I want to work the right up to 3 if the left can do 3, for example. But maybe your number, maybe you're super fit and you can do 20 on one side. So then you want to work up to 20 on the affected side to match the unaffected side for sit to stand. The next progression is to do one-legged hip hinges with rotation. So what you're going to do is stand on one leg and balance. You're going to do that same hip hinge that you did in the beginning, but on one leg instead of 2. So you're going to come back to the wall and go straight back on one leg. And if you get good at that, what you can do is come back and reach to the right side at the same time. So you're going to reach the hip back and then rotate and get good at doing that on both sides, because that strengthens the glute max muscles in maximal hip internal rotation in a loaded position. You can also add weight to the hip hinge position where you are holding weights in both hands and doing the hip hinge to make it more difficult. You can add the internal rotation with that too, holding the weights. And finally, not everybody has access to a gym, but if you do have access to a gym, one really helpful supplemental exercise can be going to the gym and just doing the leg press and see the maximum weight you can lift with one leg versus the other. So you're going to keep on moving the pin down to heavier and heavier weight until you can't press it. So the leg press machine would be the one where you put your foot up and you press it away from you. So you want to test only one leg compared to the other leg and see if there's a difference in strength. If there is, instead of doing the sit to stand from the chair, what you can do is do the weights in the gym for the leg press, and you'll achieve a similar goal. And the point is to be able to have the same weight you can lift on the left and the right at maximum. So your 1 rep max should be the same at the end of this program. So hopefully all of this makes sense. It's just some more ideas for exercises, and as you go through each level, if you're not sure if you're ready to move up to the next level, always err on the side of messaging us and emailing us to give us a sense of where you're at, where you think you should go, and we'll guide you even further. Thanks.